piece that play some tunes.
Alright, we are live. Well, not really, it's recorded. So your name is Tom, I gotta remember that.
Yes, Phyllis.
Tom, Dan, and Dan. You two are easy. Okay, so we can get started in a nice comfortable seat. I like to make sure my sitting bones are connected with the mat. And I like to sit cross-legged. And then we can mind our posture, getting nice and tall with our spine, maybe pulling up out of the crown of our head, elongating that neck, getting even taller. Relaxing my hands down on my lap. I like to close my eyes and go inward. Just take notice of what's going on in my body. Maybe notice if I'm holding any tension anywhere and I can release that. Noticing my breathing, the quality of my breath. Feeling the temperature of the air as it enters my nose and comparing that to the temperature as I exhale. And then as I notice my breath, maybe I can consciously start to deepen it, pulling my breath, nice deep breath, pulling it into the belly, expanding my lungs like a balloon from the bottom of the lungs to the top. Nice full inhale, holding it at the top for a moment. And then a slow exhale down from the top of the lungs to the belly, pulling that belly button in toward the spine to release the last bit of air. Continuing a few of these breaths at our own breathing pace. Knowing that we can always come back to the breath when we become aware of it and help it fuel our practice today. Okay, we can start some gentle movement, dropping our chin down toward our chest, keeping those shoulders down and back, letting our head dangle forward like a bowling ball, releasing all tension in the head and neck. Feeling that stretch in the back of the neck, opening up the vertebrae in the back of the neck. And then on an inhale, we can gently roll that shoulder, roll the chin over to one shoulder, looking out to the side of the room. Exhaling as we roll back to the chest and inhaling, rolling to the other side. You can continue going side by side like this, or if you'd like, you can make full circles with the neck, bringing that chin up to the ceiling on the inhale, and exhaling as we circle down the other way. The circles can be small, to start with, until our neck is used to this movement. And next time the chin is toward the chest, pause there for a moment so that we can reverse the direction of the circle. Next time our neck is down toward our chin, pausing there for a moment, letting the head dangle once again. And then slowly raising our head back to neutral. And then as we find our nice straight posture, once again, we can continue spinal warm-ups with some seated cat-cow. So on the inhale, I'm opening up through my heart area, rounding my chest forward, jutting my chin out. And on the exhale, I'm rounding the spine, tucking my tailbone, rounding my shoulders. And I try to keep my chin parallel through this. Inhaling forward as I open up through the chest. Exhaling as I round back. And again, using our own pace to go back and forth between these two gentle movements to help open up space between all of those vertebrae. like to, you can add some extra movement here by making circles with the hips as you continue opening up through the heart and rounding the spine back. Or you can continue just going back and forth. And in this class, I always invite everyone to intuitively do any movement that feels good. So if for some reason something I'm leading doesn't feel so good, you're invited to move in your body in any way that feels good for you. Okay, if you are making circles, we can slow those circles down so we can reverse the direction. Remembering to inhale as we're moving forward and exhale as we move back. Maybe we can make those circles a little bit wider. Really inviting movement into that spine. And I'm going to slow my circles down, making them a little bit smaller as I make my way back to neutral and a good posture once again. Now I'm going to have my arms at my sides. And I inhale, my arms up overhead, a nice stretch at the top. My shoulder blades are actually down away from my ears as I reach up out of my crown and out of my fingertips, trying to touch the ceiling. And on the exhale, I can lower my hands back down in a swooping motion. Inhaling, arms up overhead once again. And now this time I'm going to mirror you, so I invite you to drop your left arm down to the mat as we reach straight up with that right arm trying to touch the ceiling, getting nice and stretch on that right side of the body. And then that lower hand can slide over toward the bookshelf wall as we make an arc with our upper arm trying to touch the books over there, keeping our sitting bones connected with the mat, so that it's our spine that's doing the curving. Keeping that breath flowing. Holding and breathing here for a few breaths. And we can gently make our way back to center, inhaling both arms up overhead. And exhaling the right arm down to the mat, reaching straight up with that left, trying to touch the ceiling. And sliding that right arm over as we reach with our left fingertips over toward that opposite wall. Getting a nice curve in our spine. Nice deep breaths, fueling our practice. Back upright and inhaling both arms up overhead. And now exhaling our hands to heart center. Prayer pose. Pausing here for just a few breaths. Okay, we can inhale our arms up overhead once again. Now we can do a spinal twist, so your right hand can come to your left knee, and your left hand behind you as far as is comfortable, as we turn ourselves toward the bookshelf. And this might be as far as we go today, and that's wonderful, knowing that we're doing some nice twisting. Every inhale, we can get a little taller, and on our exhale, if we'd like to, we can walk our hands further behind us. And if it's comfortable for our neck, we can look out toward the back of the room. Holding and breathing in this twist for a few breaths. When we're ready, we can very gently come back to center. Inhaling our arms up overhead once again. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side, so your left hand can go to the right knee. We turn as far as is comfortable to face the opposite wall with our right hand behind us. Every inhale, minding our posture, getting a little bit taller. And every exhale, maybe if we can walk our hand further behind us and look out toward the back of the room for more of a twist. Learning to listen to our bodies and how much our bodies want to do today without strain, without, not going into the point of pain. Holding and breathing here for a few breaths. And then when we're ready, we can gently come back to center. And inhale, arms up overhead once again. And on the exhale, our hands can come straight down onto the floor in front of us. We can keep that straight spine. Maybe we can walk our hand forward. Maybe it's only an inch or two. Going as far as we can with a flat spine before we can round our spine to bend forward. As far as is comfortable for our bodies today, walking our hands forward as far as we can for a nice stretch. Taking a few deep breaths here as we try to relax into this, relaxing those thigh muscles, relaxing the upper body as much as we can. And we can walk the hands gently back toward the body as we bring ourselves upright once again. And jiggling that out. I'm going to have my legs in front of me with my feet flexed toward the ceiling. Find my good posture, my shoulders down away from my ears. My leg muscles are engaged. I don't have to lock my knees. My core muscles are engaged. My shoulders are down away from my ears as I engage every muscle in my body. And stick pose, and then relaxing that. Okay, now I'm going to get back into posture and then gently walk my hands forward on my legs into a forward fold. Maybe it's just for a little bit. Going as far as is comfortable for our body. As we fold over those legs. Letting our hands rest on the shins, ankles, wherever the hands land. Maybe you can grab your feet. And forward folding here. Breathing deep, fueling those muscles you feel stretching, sending the breath to those muscles. And we can gently walk the hands back up the legs as we come back upright. Jiggle our legs out once again. I'm going to put my legs out at like about a 90-degree angle from each other. Or as far as is comfortable. And then with that straight spine, once again, walking my hands forward, keeping those toes pointed toward the ceiling. And I can round my spine, coming down even further into a wide-legged forward fold here. From here, I'm going to walk my hands over to my left foot. Maybe my hands land on my shin, ankle, or my foot as I do my bend over that left leg. I'm going to gently release that as I come walk my hands back to center, dropping back down in center for a moment. And walking my hands over to the right leg. Grabbing a hold wherever my hands land on the shin, ankle, the feet, wherever I can reach. As I bend over that right leg. Remembering to keep my knee unlocked, so I don't need to keep a straight leg here. Once again, I'm going to release that, coming back to center and dropping down in center. Take a few deep breaths here, feeling that stretch in the legs, or wherever else I might be feeling the stretch. Walking the hands back toward the body once again. Coming upright, jiggling those legs out and releasing that. Now we are going to go into tabletop position, so on our hands and knees. My knees will be directly under my hips, my wrists directly under my shoulders, forming a nice sturdy tabletop. Now I like to press into the pads of my hands instead of toward the wrist, and I like to have my fingers splayed wide, and that helps protect the wrist joints, dispersing the weight of our bodies.
Okay.
And then from here we'll continue some spinal warm-ups. As we inhale, we look to the front of the room. Our tailbone raises, our belly can drop toward the floor. And on the exhale, we can round the spine, tucking that chin, tucking that tailbone into like a scaredy cat position. Inhaling, raising the chin, tailbone, dropping the belly. Exhale as we round the spine, scaredy cat. Moving back and forth at our own pace, whatever breathing pace is comfortable for you. Back and forth between these two gentle movements. We can make whatever other movements feel good. So maybe we want to roll our spine in a circle like a jump rope. Or maybe we want to look out to the side, trying to see one hip, and then turning our head and looking out, trying to see the other hip. Just intuitively moving your body in whatever way helps you warm up your spine here. If you are making circles in one direction, you can reverse them and go in the other direction. Okay, and then we can come back to stillness when we're ready. Finding our tabletop once again. And I'd like to practice the balancing table right now. There's many different levels we can do. So level 1 is extending our left foot out behind us. Toes can stay on the ground if that's comfortable. And so we're a straight line. For more of a balance, we can raise that leg up parallel, pointing those toes down toward the mat so our foot is flexed. This might be as far as we go today. If we want more of a balance, with that left foot raised, we can put our weight into our left hand as we raise that right arm out in front of us, like we're shaking someone's hand in front of us so that we're a straight line. Holding and breathing here As we raise our head, looking out past that hand. Okay, we can lower the right hand, lower the left knee. And let's circle out that left wrist that was holding us up. Okay, we can find our tabletop once again. And now we will do this on the other side. So I'm going to extend my right foot out behind me, choosing where to land my leg, whether I keep my toes on the ground or raise that leg up parallel, toes pointed toward the mat. And then my left hand can shake someone's hand in front of me as I look out past that arm, holding and breathing here. Lowering the hand, lowering the knee, circling out that right wrist. I'm going to take a child's pose for a moment, so I'm widening my knees as I sit back on my heels. And knee down with my forehead toward the mat. I can stack my fists to rest my head on, or if I can bring my head all the way to the mat, finding whatever level is comfortable for you. Finding your version of child's pose that's the most restful. And taking a breather here, knowing that child's pose and any other restful pose is always available in this class. This teacher does not insist that you follow my directions. Mainly, I'd like to teach people to listen to their own body and do what's best for them, because you know your body, I do not. We can circle out those wrists if we need to here. And then when we're ready, we can come back up out of child's pose. Find our posture once again. We're going to do that balancing table again, and you can choose to hold the pose or come in and out of it as you need, or you can follow me to make it a moving meditation. So what I'm going to do is find my good posture, then my left foot goes out behind me, and I'm raising my leg up parallel. And when I have my balance, I'm adding that right arm. You can either hold this or come in and out as you need, or you can work with your breath. This is the inhale. On the exhale, I bring my elbow to my knee. And then I stretch back out on the inhale, and exhale, elbow to my knee. And from here, you can go as fast or as slow as you want, following your breath. Teaching our body how to balance. I'm going to do this 5 more times. 4, 3, 2, last one, and now I'm holding the posture. My foot is flexed. I'm holding and breathing. My body may be shaking. That is a good thing. Holding and breathing. And then you can release the hand, release the knee, circle out that wrist. And let's take child's pose once again. Sitting back on the heels. Finding whatever position for your arms is good. Circling out those wrists. Learning how to relax every muscle in the body in a restful pose. Okay. Then we can come back up to table. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, choosing our level that we want to engage with today. So finding our good posture to start. And my right leg is going out behind me. And my left hand is coming up. And we may just hold this or come in and out as we need, or you can make it a moving thing as we exhale, elbow to knee, inhale, extending back out. Nice gentle movements here with our breath. I'm going to do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one, and then I'm going to hold the posture. Holding as I extend out, foot flexed toward the mat, looking out past my hand, my body is shaking. I'm shaking out traumas and dramas as I shake my body. Okay, now I'm releasing that hand, releasing those knees, and sitting back into child's once again, circling out those wrists. Then we can come back up to seated. I'm going to sit in rock pose. So if this is comfortable for you, you can join me here, or you can do the cross-legged. So rock pose can be hard on the knees, and it's not for everyone, but you basically sit back on your heels. And I'm just doing some intuitive movement here. My body's calling for more cat-cow, so I'm doing more spinal warm-ups here as I inhale my chest forward and round my spine back. Jiggling it out however it feels good for you. Okay, and then we've had a request for some frogs. So
They're good.
yeah, it's a good one. I love that one. It's a good core workout. It can be hard on the knees, and it's a big leg strengthener. So I'm going to show you 2 different options. First, the main option is if you come into, like, you're looking like a frog. Your toes are down on the mat, your heels are raised, you're sitting on your heels with your fingertips on the ground. And I'm going to demonstrate first, and then we can join in because there's a couple of options that we can choose. So from here, this is our inhale. Our exhale, we stand up, but our fingertips stay on the ground, and our heels basically come together. Inhale down, exhale up. So that's option 1. Modification, if people need a modification, and I usually do like 5 or 10 frogs the regular way, and then I move into the modification because it becomes too much for me, is like a footballer pose. So my feet are comfortably apart, like hip distance, and I'm down like I'm catching a football. So this is my crouch. And then I inhale as I straighten my legs and touch the floor like this. So this is option 2, which is a little easier on the knees and not so much of a workout. Okay, so we can get into the pose we're going to start with. You can choose either or. And as we progress, you can move into the other pose if you need to. So we're going to try for 20 today.
What? Inhale up. Inhale as you go up.
Yes.
Okay.
Inhale up. And you can go at your own pace, and if you do 5 or 10, that's good. I might do them fast, so I might get through my 20 pretty quickly. And I will be modifying in there, so we can go at our own pace here. whatever number you're on. Next time you're extended, let's hold it here. And maybe move into more of a forward fold as we straighten out our feet and drop down. Oh, keeping a slight bend in the knee. Trying to catch our breath. You can be holding onto the floor for balance. If you'd like, you can release those arms, let them dangle, or cross elbows to opposite hands to elbows. Whatever feels good here. Move around a little bit, let your weeping willow tree sway in the wind, if that feels good.
Oh.
And now we'll come halfway up with a flat spine with a big inhale, like a tabletop. Exhale back down to fold. Now very slowly, with a bend in our knee, we can slowly start rounding the spine as we come up to standing, using those leg muscles to raise us up.
Boy.
Once we're up, we can inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale our hands to heart center, and I like to close my eyes here. Feel what's going on in my body. My thumbs are pressed into my thumbs, going into my breastbone. So maybe my thumbs can feel my heartbeat. Can notice my breathing. Consciously bring my awareness to the breathing and heart rate. So maybe I take in as much oxygen as I need, while maybe slowing down that breath and that heart. Feeling that energy flowing through my body. And then jiggling that out, releasing.
Ooh.
Oh.
You hate that as much as I like it.
Same here, same here.
Yeah. My thighs were burning,
Oh yeah.
but I can get down lower now.
Good.
That's why I wanted to ask to do it, because I couldn't remember if my hands came up when you straighten your legs. And,
Right.
And I was having my feet like this, and then as I was standing up, I was straightening my feet out. I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, when I stand, my feet are like 90 degrees like this.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Unless I'm in that modified.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep jiggling that out. Let's bounce up and down a little bit, get rid of some of that energy. Whew. Maybe we want to do empty coat sleeves as we sway side by side. Whew.
Oh.
Now I had something now. Okay, a counter move to frog is yogi marches. Basically just walking in place. So I'll have us bring our arms up parallel and then bend at our elbows for 90 degrees, palms can face forward. And then you can bring your pointer finger to your thumb for a little mudra if you'd like. And then on the inhale, we raise one leg up, everything 90 degree, foot, knee, hip, as we raise our arms up. And then as we exhale, we lower back down to here. Inhale, other leg up, exhale down. So we're balancing a little bit as we do this. This is a counter move to help balance out the energies from frog. We'll just do a few. Next time both feet are on the ground, we'll take a big inhale, raising just our arms, straightening those fingertips way up to the ceiling, holding our breath at the top. Stretching, 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 and then release and shake it out.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
I like that one too.
Frog and Yogi Marches go together. They're part of a series.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, are we thinking about more balance today?
Whatever floats your boat.
Okay, I'm going to find
I
a
would like balance.
immovable surface like a tabletop or a chair, just to have it handy in case I fall over as I prepare for tree pose. And I'm going to find my nice strong mountain as I ground into the earth. So my feet are fist distance apart, parallel. I'm widening out my toes, pressing into all four corners of my feet. My legs are engaged without my knees locking. My tailbone is tucked under. I'm strengthening my core muscles. I'm lowering my shoulder blades to my back, shoulders down, palms face forward. Chin neutral. Nice strong mountain as we ground into the earth here. Okay, keeping this nice strong grounding, we can choose which foot we want to work with first as we put our weight into one foot and raise just the heel of the opposite foot, toes on the ground. And then we turn our knee to the side like this. And this might be our balance today, or we can go a little further, bringing our foot up to our ankle, shin, or just above the knee, finding the balance that works best for you, but not directly on the knee because we want to protect that joint. Knowing that our thing is here if we need it. And then we can grow our tree branches up to the sun when we're ready, when we have our balance. Finding that focal point in front of us that's not moving to help us with the balance. The strongest trees are the ones that can bend in the wind. Holding and breathing. When we're ready, we can lower the arms, gracefully lower that leg, and jiggle out that standing foot, circle that ankle a bit. Whew. Shake out what you need. And come into stillness once again. Finding our nice strong mountain pose again. Our feet are parallel, fist distance apart, engaging all those muscles from the ground up, pulling up energy from the earth as we grow our roots down like a tree. And when we're ready, we can shift our weight to that opposite leg as we lift the heel of the foot, turning the knee to the side. And then finding that spot on the leg that works best for us for tree pose. And growing our branches however our branches want to grow. And it's usual for one side of the body to feel different than the other. Maybe you're more steady on this side, maybe a little less. That's normal. All trees grow differently. Using that focal point to help keep the balance, using the breath. When we're ready, we can lower the arms, gracefully lower that foot, and then jiggle out that standing foot. And we can come back to our mats. You're right. Now we can come to the front of our mats, come into that mountain pose once again. Find our good mountain pose, palms forward, shoulders down, looking ahead. Tailbone is tucked, every muscle engaged. Inhaling, arms up overhead, and we'll exhale into a forward fold. And dangle like a willow tree here. Our feet and legs totally grounded. Our upper body completely relaxed. Maybe we want to sway or bounce or grab opposite elbows, doing whatever feels good to help release anything and drain anything we don't need into the earth here. I'm going to inhale halfway up with a flat spine. And exhale back down into my fold. Now you can take several small steps or 2 big steps to find yourself in plank. The plank can be with knees up or knees down. Our choice. I'm going to hold plank for just a few breaths here. Thanking my nice strong body for working so well for me today. Thanking myself for taking the time out of my busy day to do something good for my body and help strengthen it and help me keep my flexibility. Okay, I'm going to hold for 5 more. 4, come out as you need. 3, 2, 1. And you can lower yourself down to the mat, either slowly or lower your knees, chest, and chin down to the mat to lie on our belly with our forehead on the mat. Hands are directly under our shoulders. Jiggling that out somewhat, and then I'm grounding into my hips as I prepare for a mini back bend. So I'm going to raise my head as I look forward. Maybe raise my hands up off the mat. Maybe my feet come off too, so that my core muscles, my belly, and my hips are grounding into the mat in this little mini back bend. Lowering back down, relaxing. Taking some deep breaths. Maybe you want to cross your arms under your head. Moving your legs any way you choose as we relax here. Okay, I'm going to do 1 more back bend. So you can plant your hands directly under your shoulders, and you can either do the mini back bend we just did, or you can keep those tops of the feet grounded onto the mat and press into those hands as we raise up so that our lower legs are pressing into the mat as we raise up, looking to the front of the room in a back bend here. And lowering back down. And relaxing once again, jiggling anything out that you'd like to jiggle out. And from here, we're going to roll onto our backs. Putting my arms out at a T formation as my knees are pointed up toward the ceiling, my feet are toward my buttocks. Taking a moment to relax here. I'm going to allow my knees to windshield washer, going side to side. The more important thing with this is to keep the shoulders and arms in connection with the mat. So it's not so important how far your legs go down as it is to keep the shoulders engaged in the mat. Alright, and I'm going to choose a side, and next time my knees are over to that side, I'm going to allow some stillness, allowing those knees to relax there. Do a spinal twist here. And if it's good on your neck, you can even look out over that opposite arm. See if you can release every muscle in your body and completely allow gravity to do this stretch for you. Maybe you can envision yourself like a wet washcloth being wrung out, allowing anything you don't need to go down into the earth to be recycled. we're ready, we can gently bring our knees to center, head to center, recenter ourselves. And go back to that windshield washer movement with our knees for a few times. And then the next time the knees are on the opposite side, we can drop them down, relax them there. And maybe look out over that opposite shoulder and do a twist in this opposite direction. Again, just allowing every muscle to relax in this pose. No need to do anything ourselves here. When we're ready, we can come back to center. One final windshield washing of our legs a few times. And then releasing that, allowing our legs to extend out, jiggle out.
Ooh. Ooh.
From here, I'm going to bring my knees to my chest. I'm going to hug my knees really tight as I flex every muscle in my body, bringing my nose toward my knees, turning myself into a tight little ball. And then big inhale, and then on the exhale, I release. Keeping those knees toward my chest, but in a relaxed position. And maybe I even rock side by side on my spine, where all those acupressure points are, to basically give myself a full body massage. Here we can go into any movement that feels good. What I'm going to do is come into happy baby. So I'm widening my knees and grabbing hold of my feet. I'm going to still rock side to side here. Okay, I'm going to cross one foot over the opposite knee and hug those knees into my chest here. And you have the option also to straighten that lower leg, foot flexed for a little bit more stretch in those leg muscles. If you are doing something on one side of the body, it's good to switch. So I'm going to put my foot over the other knee and hug those knees into my chest, feet flexed. And then you can straighten that lower leg if you'd like. All right, releasing that. You can go into any other movement that feels good, any other stretch that your body is calling for right now. As we prepare for our final relaxation. And making our way down to the mat. And we're going to down to completely relax. If you'd like a pillow or two, you can raise your hand and I can bring some over.
Sure, I'll have one.
Relaxing the toes, the feet, the ankles, allowing that relaxation to flow into the lower legs, through the knees, into the hips, thighs. Relaxing your belly, your tailbone. Relaxing your chest, upper back. Releasing the shoulders down into the mat. Relaxing the arms, the fingertips, hands. Relaxing the shoulders. Unclenching the jaw. deeply we can just release for a few minutes. Powerless is a gateway. There are days when reality unravels before your eyes. You are disrupted, torn down, stripped of what you believe. Your foundation is shaken. When this happens, enter the powerlessness and use it as a focus for meditation. Anytime you feel incompetent and ignorant, allow your mind to dissolve into that unknowing helplessness. You are already in the disturbance, so you may as well go all the way into full attention. You now realize you know nothing, so you become curious and you melt into wonder. The forms of power you have known are gone, so you can rebuild and learn entirely new ways of dancing with energy. Those who meditate know that when they are relaxed and at ease, the memory of painful times come to awareness to be healed. Welcome these shocking and embarrassing memories when they come, because they are teachers. If you learn from your own history, you don't need to repeat it. You can use the phrase, unmind your mind, to help you with this. I invite you to start bringing your awareness back into this space. You can deepen your breath, inviting in some movement, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe you want to get a good stretch. If you'd like to, you can roll onto one side and rest there for a few breaths. And when you're ready, in your own time, you can make your way back up to seated. thank each of you for taking the time out of your busy days to do some stretching and some movement with me. And the divine that resides within me sees, honors, and recognizes the divine that resides in each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll take a copy.
What?
I'll take a copy.
Okay, I'll email it to you.